Alright, this is going to be a video to help us find the area of a parallelogram. First you have to ask yourself, what is a parallelogram? And by definition, a parallelogram is a polygon with four sides, so it's a quadrilateral. Also, a parallelogram has two pairs of parallel lines. As you can see, this line here is parallel to this line here. The line that stretches this way and this way, they're parallel. You also have this line here that is parallel to this line here, and this is how we mark them. These two lines are parallel because if they went on forever, they would not touch. Same thing with these parallel lines here. That is why this is a parallelogram, two pairs of parallel lines. Also, look at the angles. You have a pair or two angles that are obtuse. You also have a pair of angles that are acute. So by definition, this is a parallelogram. So I got all kinds of things going on here. Let's go ahead and erase this then and try and find the area of a parallelogram. First of all, I want you to think back to your original formula in fourth grade. To find the area of anything, you would do length times width. We're going to now change that. We're going to change it to equal something else. And we're going to call our length base and our width height. So it's pretty much the same thing. We're just changing the L and W to a B and an H. Length times width equals base times height. And you're going to want to use this one anytime you're dealing with a parallelogram. So let's go back and draw another parallelogram. Okay, they will always give you the base. And the base is going to be the bottom number. Just like the base of your house or the floor of your house, I want you to think of base as a bottom number. And right here, this line here would be my base. And let's say that's maybe 6 centimeters. Now, one thing that's confusing is we did width, which is up and down. We said our width always goes up and down. But if you look at these lines that are going up and down, they are not our width. They are not going to be our height. Just think about when you go to the doctors and you have height, and when you measure yourself, you stand straight up and down. That's the same with a parallelogram. And both of these lines that are green, right here that's shaded in, and here, they're not height because they're not standing straight up and down. So when you have a parallelogram, they will give you a dotted line that goes straight down the middle. And they might say that that height is 4 centimeters. Or they might even go outside of the parallelogram and draw a dotted line like this, and then up so it makes a perfect 90-degree angle. And then they would say that this height is 4 centimeters. So you now have your height, which would be 4 centimeters, because it's perfectly vertical. It's straight up and down. You also have your base, which would be 6 centimeters. And this is just like the area with a rectangle or a square. You would take the length and the width, or the base times the height. The base, you know, is 6. And you would times it by the height, which would happen to be 4 centimeters. And, you know, you'd get a total of 24 centimeters squared. And this would be labeled exactly the same. Square centimeters, or centimeters to the second powered, centimeters squared.